Hey everyone, ready for the deep dive?
Always ready.
Awesome. Today, we're tackling the world of paralegals.
Ooh, interesting.
It is, right? We're going to explore all the different types of paralegals,
Okay.
what they do, and why this career path is, seriously hot right now.
Yeah, I've heard it's really growing.
It is. And to guide us, we've got this fantastic article from Jervio.com
Oh, cool.
called 10 Types of Paralegals, Explore the Most In-Demand Specialties. So if you want to follow along,
Great resource.
it is, yeah. Just head over to Jervio.com. It's a really great website for anything paralegal related.
I'll check it out.
You should. Now, before we get lost in all the cool specializations,
Right.
let's start with the basics. What exactly is a paralegal? I mean, what does that even mean in the legal world?
Yeah, good point. So the American Bar Association, the ABA,
Oh, yeah, the ABA.
they define a paralegal as someone who's qualified through, their education, training, or work experience to do legal work, but they're always working under the supervision of an attorney.
Okay, so they're not lawyers themselves,
Exactly.
but they're super important members of the legal team.
Oh, absolutely.
So what kind of stuff do paralegals typically do?
Well, it really varies depending on the specialty.
Right, of course.
But some common tasks include legal research, like digging into cases and statutes, preparing legal documents,
Okay.
and then communicating with clients.
Right, so they're kind of like the bridge between
Yeah.
the lawyer and the client.
Exactly.
And sometimes they even do trial support.
Yeah, they help get everything organized
Wow.
and ready for the courtroom.
It sounds like a really dynamic role.
It is. It's always changing, always something new to learn.
No wonder it's such a popular career choice.
For sure.
All right, so the article we're looking at breaks down 10 of the most in-demand paralegal specializations.
Oh, cool. Let's dive into those.
Let's. First up, we've got family law and divorce paralegals.
Okay, yeah. That's a big one.
It is. I imagine these cases can be pretty intense, emotionally charged.
Oh, absolutely. Emotions run high when you're dealing with families going through those kinds of transitions.
So a family law and divorce paralegal needs
Me.
more than just legal knowledge.
Yeah, they need to be able to really connect with people,
Oh, that's so important.
be compassionate, and have excellent communication skills.
Because they're working with clients who are probably going through the most difficult times in their lives.
Exactly.
So what are some specific tasks that they might be doing?
Well, think about everything that goes into divorce proceedings. Child custody, child support, sometimes even adoption.
Yeah.
They're drafting legal documents,
Okay.
sifting through financial information,
Right.
sometimes analyzing assets, and really importantly, communicating with clients,
Okay.
offering support and guidance.
So it's not just about
There's-
the legal strategy. It's about
Exactly. It's about
being a compassionate, understanding.
a guide, a support system
Exactly.
during a really tough time.
And the article says that the median salary for this specialty is around $69,530 a year.
Wow, not bad at all.
Plus, with more complex asset divisions these days, I imagine the demand is only going to go up.
Oh, definitely. As family structures and financial situations become more and more complex, the need for these skilled family law paralegals will just continue to rise.
All right, next up, we've got healthcare paralegals
Okay.
and nurse paralegals.
Interesting.
It's where law and medicine collide.
Yeah, that's a fascinating intersection.
I bet there are a lot of unique ethical challenges
Oh, absolutely.
that come up in this field.
You're right on the mark. Healthcare paralegals, sometimes they're called nurse paralegals or even paralegal medical consultants.
So,
They're often dealing with situations that require them to really weigh those legal and ethical considerations very carefully.
so what kind of cases would they be involved in?
They're vital in cases involving medical malpractice, personal injuries,
Oh, wow.
healthcare labor laws, things like that. And what makes them so valuable is they can speak both the medical language and the legal language.
It's like having a translator for two really complex worlds.
Exactly.
So what kind of background would someone need to get into this?
Well, a lot of healthcare paralegals actually start with a nursing background.
Oh, interesting.
They might be registered nurses who then get their paralegal certification.
Oh, okay.
So they already have that insider medical knowledge.
Makes sense.
But then you also have people who come from a legal background and then specialize in healthcare law.
Okay, so there are a couple of different routes you can take.
Exactly.
So what are some of the things that they'd be doing on a daily basis?
They could be interviewing clients who are involved in, let's say, a medical malpractice suit.
Mm-hmm.
They might be poring over medical records.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of detail.
Yeah, it is. To extract key details.
Right.
Or researching relevant case law.
Okay.
Or even prepping medical experts to give testimony.
Wow, so it's a very, hands-on role.
Oh, it's very dynamic.
And the article says that nurse paralegals can earn over $100,000 a year.
That's impressive.
Which makes sense,
It does.
considering they have that specialized knowledge
Right.
and the kind of critical nature of the cases they're working on.
Absolutely. And as healthcare continues to evolve, the demand for these specialized professionals will just keep rising.
All right, let's shift gears now to corporate and business law paralegals.
Okay. Yeah, that's a whole different world.
It is, right?
Yeah.
I imagine these folks need to be incredibly organized
Oh, absolutely.
and detail-oriented.
Yeah. Attention to detail is crucial.
Because the corporate world is all about precision, following the rules.
You got it. Corporate and business law paralegals, they're like the guardians of compliance, making sure companies are operating within the legal framework.
So their playground is contracts, mergers, and acquisitions.
Oh, yeah, all of that.
Employment law, intellectual property.
The whole legal universe of business, really.
It sounds like they need a really broad understanding of a lot of different legal areas.
Yeah, it's not just one narrow focus.
So what are some of their core responsibilities?
It could be drafting and reviewing contracts, doing due diligence for mergers,
Okay.
researching compliance issues, and even assisting with corporate filings.
Okay. And I imagine they're probably involved in data privacy and ESG compliance,
You're absolutely right.
because those are hot topics these days.
They are. Companies are realizing that their legal and ethical responsibilities go way beyond just making a profit.
Yeah, that makes sense. And this specialization is seeing some serious growth.
It is.
Projected 15% increase in demand in the next few years.
That's huge.
It is.
As businesses go global and regulations become more complex, the need for these skilled corporate and business law paralegals will just continue to grow.
Okay, let's move on to a specialty that might not be as glamorous, but definitely crucial: bankruptcy paralegals.
Yeah. It's a tough field,
I bet.
but incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, I imagine it is, helping people navigate such a difficult financial situation.
It takes a certain level of resilience and empathy to work in this field.
So what kind of things are they doing day to day?
Well, they're collecting and organizing financial records, preparing those bankruptcy petitions,
Okay.
communicating with creditors,
Right.
and even assisting with asset valuation and debt restructuring.
So they're really helping people or businesses piece their financial lives back together.
Exactly.
And the article says that bankruptcy paralegals often earn more than the average paralegal salary.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, sometimes over $100,000 a year,
That makes sense.
which makes sense
I could
considering the specialized knowledge they need.
Right. The level of detail and accuracy required is really intense.
Uh-huh.
And that expertise is reflected in the compensation.
So if someone is really good with numbers and has a knack for finance, this could be a really good path for them.
Absolutely.
Okay, now for something that probably touches almost everyone at some point, real estate and property law paralegals.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's got to deal with real estate at some point.
Exactly. Whether you're buying, selling, or renting a property.
They play a key role in making those real estate dreams a reality.
So what kind of things are they doing?
Imagine drafting and reviewing purchase agreements,
Okay.
conducting title searches.
Oh, yeah, to make sure there's nothing shady going on with the property.
Exactly. No hidden surprises.
Yeah.
Preparing all those closing documents, and even coordinating those final closing meetings.
So they're like the legal conductors
That's a great way to put it.
of the whole real estate orchestra.
I like that.
I bet they need a solid understanding of real estate laws, zoning regulations, all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's a whole world unto itself.
And they need to be able to communicate
Yeah.
with all the different parties involved.
Oh, for sure. Buyers, sellers, agents, lenders.
Everybody's got a stake in the game.
And speaking of high-stakes games, let's talk about litigation and trial support specialists.
Okay, yeah, the courtroom drama.
I know. These are the people who, thrive under pressure.
They do. They're the stage managers of the legal production, making sure everything's prepped
Okay.
and ready for the big show in the courtroom.
So they're the ones working behind the scenes to make sure the legal team is ready to go.
Exactly.
So what kind of tasks might they be handling?
They could be interviewing witnesses,
Okay.
gathering evidence, creating trial exhibits,
Okay.
diving into legal research,
Right.
and even assisting the attorneys right there in the courtroom.
Wow, so they're really in the thick of it.
They are. It's fast-paced
Yeah.
and demanding, especially in those final weeks leading up to a trial.
And the article mentioned how important technology is in this field,
Oh, it's huge.
like e-discovery tools for all that digital evidence. It's a game changer. Litigation and trial support specialists need to be tech savvy,
Yeah.
able to navigate and analyze massive amounts of data.
It's like data management and analysis are becoming just as important
They are
as legal research.
absolutely. They need to be able to find the needle in the digital haystack.
So the salary for this specialization can vary quite a bit,
They can.
but I imagine the demand is always high.
You got it. As legal cases become more complex and tech-driven,
Right.
the need for skilled litigation and trial support specialists will just keep growing.
All right, next up we have a specialty that's all about protecting creativity, intellectual property, and patent paralegals.
Okay, that's a fascinating area.
I know, right? This has to be one of the more technical fields.
It is. They need to be fluent in both the language of law and the language of technology.
So they need to understand the legal stuff and the technical stuff.
Exactly. They're working to protect those inventions, creative works, trademarks, all that.
Sounds really challenging.
It is, but it's also really rewarding. You're helping people protect their ideas.
So what kind of tasks might they be doing?
They could be conducting patent searches to make sure an invention is actually new,
Right.
preparing patent applications, managing trademark portfolios, or even digging into copyright infringement cases.
Wow. So it's a real mix of legal and technical skills.
Absolutely.
And the specialization is booming too. Projected 10% increase in demand.
That's amazing.
And as technology keeps advancing,
Right.
I can only imagine that number is going to keep going up.
It will. As innovation continues, the need for these paralegals
Right.
will just keep growing. It's a really exciting time to be in this field.
Now, let's turn our attention to government and public sector paralegals.
Okay, so working for the government.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like compared to working for, like, a private firm.
It's a different world for sure.
I bet.
They work in all levels of government,
Okay.
from local municipalities to federal agencies.
So what kind of things are they doing?
They're conducting legal research,
Mm-hmm.
drafting legislation,
Okay.
preparing government contracts,
Right.
or even assisting with administrative hearings.
And the article mentioned that these positions often require a higher level of education.
That's often the case, yeah. They might need a bachelor's degree,
Okay.
sometimes even a master's degree in law or public administration.
All right, now let's talk about a specialty that's super relevant in today's world, immigration paralegals.
Oh yeah, immigration is such a hot topic these days.
It is, right? This field has got to be incredibly challenging,
It is.
but also deeply rewarding.
It is.
You know, helping people navigate all those immigration laws.
It's a field that requires a unique combination of legal expertise,
Okay.
cultural sensitivity, and compassion.
So they're helping people from all over the world
Yeah,
achieve their dreams
exactly.
of living and working in a new country.
It's a big responsibility.
It is. What kind of tasks would they be handling?
They could be preparing visa applications,
Okay.
gathering supporting documents,
Right.
communicating with immigration authorities, and even representing clients at immigration hearings.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and they often work with clients who speak different languages.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So strong language skills are probably a huge plus.
A huge asset, absolutely.
And the demand for immigration paralegals is on the rise, too.
It is.
Projected 10% growth over the next decade.
As global migration keeps increasing, I can only imagine that demand will continue to climb.
Absolutely. And as immigration policies change,
Right.
they need to stay on top of all that.
It's a constantly evolving field.
It is. Okay, last but not least, we've got criminal defense paralegals.
Okay, now we're talking high stakes.
Right. These are the folks who are working on cases where someone's freedom is on the line.
Exactly. They're the unsung heroes of the criminal justice system.
Wow. So they're working alongside attorneys to defend people who are accused of crimes.
That's right.
So what are some of the tasks they might be doing?
They could be investigating crime scenes,
Okay.
interviewing witnesses,
Mm-hmm.
gathering evidence,
Okay.
or assisting attorneys right there in the courtroom.
And the article mentioned that the average salary for criminal defense paralegals is a little lower than some other specializations.
Right.
But the impact of their work,
Oh, the impact is huge.
they're fighting for people's rights.
Absolutely. It's a career path that can be incredibly fulfilling for those who are passionate about criminal justice.
I can imagine.
And it's not just a job, it's a calling.
Okay, so we've explored 10 different paralegal specializations.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's amazing how diverse
It is.
and dynamic this field is.
There's really something for everyone.
Whether you're drawn to intellectual property law or the human element of family law, or the high-stakes world of criminal defense.
It's a constantly evolving field, too, with new specializations popping up all the time.
Now, before we jump into what the future holds for aspiring paralegals,
Okay.
let's take a moment to, process all this awesome information.
Good idea.
We'll be right back with more insights into the paralegal world.
And, we've talked about those 10 core specialties, but there's so much more to the paralegal world.
Right. It's not just limited to those 10.
No, not at all. The profession itself is going through some pretty big changes these days.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for anyone who's thinking about this career path.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are some of the trends shaping the future of paralegal work?
Well, one of the biggest is technology. We touched on it earlier with e-discovery.
Right.
But it goes way beyond that. We're talking AI, legal automation software, all kinds of things.
So future paralegals need to be like tech wizards as well as legal eagles.
Pretty much. Tech skills are essential now. And it's not just about using the software, it's about understanding how technology is changing the legal field itself.
Okay, so what else is on the horizon? What other big shifts are happening?
Well, we're also seeing a huge surge in demand for specialized skills. Compliance is a big one. There are so many regulations that businesses have to navigate now.
It's like a jungle out there.
It is. And then there's data privacy. That's another hot area, especially with all the data breaches we're seeing.
Yeah, it seems like every day there's a new headline about a data breach.
It's crazy, right?
It is. So what's a typical day like for a data privacy paralegal? What kind of stuff are they dealing with?
They're like the digital detectives of the legal world.
I like that.
They make sure companies are following all those data privacy laws like GDPR and CCPA.
Right.
They might be doing privacy impact assessments or developing data protection policies.
Okay.
Or responding to data breach incidents. It's a fast-paced field.
So it's not just about reacting to incidents.
No, it's about being proactive.
Okay.
Building privacy into a company's culture from the ground up.
It sounds like paralegals are becoming more like consultants.
That's a great way to put it. They're not just handling administrative tasks anymore. They're becoming strategic advisors.
So specialization is definitely the way to go.
I'd say so, yeah. As legal issues get more complex, businesses need that specialized support.
Okay, so we've talked about specializations. What about work arrangements? Is it still the traditional 9 to 5 in a law office?
Not necessarily. We're seeing a huge shift toward flexible work arrangements.
Oh, that's good to know.
Remote work, hybrid models, even freelance opportunities.
There's more flexibility now.
Definitely. The legal profession is finally catching up with the rest of the world.
Okay, so let's say someone is interested in becoming a paralegal.
All right.
How do they get started?
Well, there are a few different paths you can take. One popular option is an associate's degree in paralegal studies.
Okay, a 2-year degree. What about a 4-year option?
Yeah, you could also go for a bachelor's degree in paralegal studies.
Okay.
Or a related field like legal studies or criminal justice. That might give you a bit of an edge in the job market.
Okay, what if someone already has a bachelor's degree in something else?
They can still become a paralegal. There are paralegal certificate programs designed for career changers.
Okay, cool. So there are multiple entry points.
Exactly.
What about certifications? Are those important in the paralegal world?
They definitely can be. They show employers that you've got the knowledge and skills. Organizations like NLA offer a variety of certifications.
NLA, okay. So what other advice would you give to someone who's thinking about this field?
I'd say never stop learning. The legal landscape is constantly changing.
So keep up with new laws and tech.
Exactly. And really think about what area of law you're most passionate about.
Okay.
Because specializing can really make a difference in your career.
So find that niche that you love.
Yep, where your skills and interests meet the needs of the legal market.
So we've learned that the paralegal field is booming.
It is.
There are so many different specializations, flexible work arrangements, and multiple ways to get started.
It's a really exciting field to be in right now.
And it's not just about legal research and paperwork. It's about helping people.
Exactly. You get to use your skills to make a real difference in people's lives.
Okay, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question.
I like it.
Given how quickly technology and the legal landscape are changing, What new paralegal specializations might we see in the next 5 to 10 years?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let me think. Well, I think we'll see a lot more specialization in areas like cybersecurity law,
Okay.
artificial intelligence, and the law, and of course, data privacy compliance. The demand for those skills is just going to keep growing.
Wow, that's a fascinating prediction. It really highlights how dynamic this career path can be. Welcome back, everyone. As we wrap up our deep dive into the paralegal world, I wanted to circle back to something we talked about earlier, the impact that paralegals have.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's not just about paperwork.
No, it's about helping people navigate the legal system.
Exactly.
And sometimes those are really challenging times in people's lives.
Oh, absolutely. Think about that family law paralegal helping someone through a divorce, or an immigration paralegal helping a family start a new life.
Yeah, it's really about making a difference in people's lives.
It is.
And those criminal defense paralegals, they're working so hard to make sure everyone has a fair shot at justice.
That's right. They're fighting for people's rights, upholding the core principles of our legal system.
It's a reminder that the law isn't just about winning or losing.
No, it's about so much more than that.
It's about fairness and protecting people's rights.
And ensuring that everyone has access to justice.
So for anyone listening, if you're looking for a career with a real sense of purpose, the paralegal field is worth checking out.
Definitely. And remember, the paralegal profession is constantly evolving.
There are always new opportunities popping up.
Exactly. So if you're passionate about the law and want to use your skills to make a difference, this could be the perfect path for you.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the paralegal world.
It was a fascinating journey.
It was. And hopefully we've given you a glimpse into all the diverse and rewarding paths you can take in this field.
There really is something for everyone.
That's the beauty of it. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.